Welcome back to Sikistan National News. Our last news on Sikistan National soil for a while, brought to you by Sika Sleep, our sleeping performance enhancing supplement. You can get it at sikastrength.com. Contains some of the most important nutrients you need for better quality sleep. Now, why do I say last on Sikistan National soil? Because we're on a diplomatic embassy mission next week to UK, Tokyo and Korea. And we might have some special assistant guest presenters.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes.
See, like next week's news show is going to be a star-studded affair.
On with the news show. So we're starting off with a lot of Chinese lifting. And generally, when we see Chinese lifting, we only see the best of what they put up. And we have Tian, in his own words, playing with 190 kilos, power clean. One of the sweetest power cleans on the books from anyone in weightlifting. Anyone who does any kind of power clean, and obviously the power.
I think it could now be my favourite 190 kilo power clean.
I can't think of any other than 190 power clean, so it could be my favourite also. I love that training hall is just amazing. You only get that kind of training hall with communist money. You just don't.
Massive amounts of state backing.
Yeah, you just don't get that kind of.
Oh, it's so nice.
His power jerk is sick as well. It's so aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's one of the few aesthetic squat power jerks.
Rivaled only by Apti, to be honest. I think Apti's is nicer.
No, Apti's is king of aesthetic, but also king of weight in some ways too. But definitely king of aesthetic goes to Apti. Now we're sticking with Tian for a couple of seconds. And, someone's giving him technical advice. They're saying his knees cave in. Here's the most legit 270 kilo pause back squat you'll see probably this year, maybe this decade. That's a pause.
My God.
No double bounce either.
No. Because there's a few ways you cheat the pause. First one, you just barely have a pause at all. Second one, you stop a little bit short, You've that a little bit in the bottom, and then as you take off. And then the third way is you do the double bounce. None of those things happen here.
Also, lest we forget, Tian is now an 89 kilo lifter again. So this is very impressive in terms of body weight.
3 times body weight.
Funnily enough, my best pause squat is 270, but I was not 89 kilos. I think I was like 105 kilos. But no video of that either. It's one of my few PBs don't have a video of yet.
Very unlike you.
Maybe I'll try and beat it at some point. But again with Tian, another one. We had to do this because this is a 290. Fun. I didn't even plan this, but this is also my best back squat. But again, I was not 89, I was 107. But anyway, forget about me. Tian 290 kilo. I love the loading of this. This is so haphazard yet definitely planned.
I don't enjoy this loading, but what this loading does remind me of is American weightlifter. His company was called Bless the Gym. He had dreadlocks.
Kendrick Farris
had a 200 kilo jerk from rack, and he did red, blue.
How do you remember Bless the Gym but don't remember Kendrick Farris's name? That's so funny.
No idea.
This 290.
Very nice squat.
We've seen Tian squat 320 and it looks just like this.
Yeah.
Tian you gotta hand them. He's one of the craziest athletes just to be involved in any kind of sport.
Yeah, 100%.
When you think about it.
He's certifiable freak.
Everything. Slightly toes out. Shoulder width squat. Lovely close grip. Nice 45-degree elbow position. Full grip on the barbell. Back position stays in extension in the upper back when he's coming into it. It's just
the tempo of it as well is just so good.
Yeah, it's the tempo. Yeah. Now, on a quadruple run of Chinese weightlifting, although he's now the exile from Chinese weightlifting, someone doing clean pulls. I'm not sure who this is. In come Lu Xiaojun. Tells her get the fuck out of the way, get off the bar with 110 kilos. Maybe 105, it's a woman's bar. And then we see Lou do something we've never seen him do before. Power jerk. Look at that.
Yeah. I assume this is just not warmed up, so I'm not going to sit in the bottom of the squat.
Well, he has shoes on.
I can see that, yeah.
Those shoes are so good.
He definitely doesn't look like he's training there, though.
He has been training somewhat, though.
No, I mean, in this session.
I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to say, but it's interesting to see him power jerk. It doesn't look right.
No.
It looks unnatural. But let's just watch it one more time. So this is obviously a piss take mean kind of thing. But also we've never seen him do block cleans before. Jeez, that muscle memory just doesn't go away.
No. Jeez, even that clean looks so nice.
I wonder what he could have done best power jerk at when he was in his peak shape, whenever that was. Now, here's the 5th run of Chinese weightlifting, and I know there's a lot of you guys who will love this. I don't know why I pointed at you because I don't think you'd be at the top. We've got Lee Huanhua,
Nailed it.
also known as Gigachad, with 220 kilos and 230 kilo rack jerks. He is a 96 kilo lifter, and wham! Look at that lockout. I am jelly right now. I'll get
That
it.
lockout, and just his grip is wide, but it doesn't look excessively wide.
I love those black and gold antas.
Do you?
Really do, yeah.
They're very flash.
Okay, yeah, I can't argue with that. No, that's fair. Black and gold is pretty flash.
The favourite thing about that jerk is just the width of the grip. Usually when you see people that wide, it is a bit sketchy.
Yes.
You know, they're putting it out that wide just to get the lockout, but that lockout is phenomenally nice.
I don't even think he jerks from his clean and jerk with a grip that wide, though. I must need to follow up on that, but these positions are
Might
sickening.
be super physiological levels of wideness.
He is time of that jerk dip so smooth, using the whip and the lockout overhead, and absolutely no doubt about it. Just sometimes people do rack jerks and they're like falling underneath the barbell and then they kind of drop it really quickly. This is absolutely nailing this. You know, the funny part is Chinese are obviously a large portion of the national team at points that will go to international competitions. Will do a squat jerk. But we just don't give them credit that when they do split jerks, a lot of them are some of the best split jerks going.
Yeah.
And consistency, positions, repeatability. You know, it's so funny, like Lao Hui, the 69 kilo lifter, was incredibly good at split jerking. You know, you just don't see it a lot, but when it's there, it's so good.
But all the things that make them very good at squat jerking, like the upper body musculature, the insane elbow lockout, the perfect position overhead, all that makes them great split jerkers as well.
Yes.
You know, it's just got a bit more magnified with the squat jerk.
Now, sticking with fucking ridiculous 230 kilo split jerks, this is one of my favorite lifters technically of all time, Sergey Shrestov. He is a formerly USSR lifter, then a Russian lifter. Igor Klimanov put this up a few weeks ago. We actually missed it, but I just wanted to show this because I fucking love Sergey, and I think this is the heaviest clean jerk we've ever seen from him. Technically, he's a beautiful lifter, and look at this 230 jerk. Boom!
This jerk is phenomenal.
Incredible.
That jerk screams 150 kilo strict press.
Oh, I would say it has
all
to be.
day long. Yeah.
If you get a chance, go watch some of Sergey's snatching as well. There's a couple of sessions out there online. Not too many, but there's a bit. And he's lifting superb. He was the best of what was Russian weightlifting in the 80s and 90s. Like, he was great technique, repeatable technique, very fast, great positions. You know, all of that, all the best of it before, you know, we saw it all go downhill.
It's very athletic, clean as well.
Yes.
Really nice.
Now, sticking with someone who's very athletic, I think is fair to say, Toshiki just did his bodybuilding competition. So this isn't the weightlifting news show because Toshiki's always a weightlifter to us, of course, but We Lift Weights just put a little montage here from doing his powerlifting competition, set his national records in weightlifting, squatting a massive weight, and now here he is doing his BB competition.
Yeah.
I don't know what... he got silver, so that's good.
You know what? I have a lot of time for Toshiki going and doing this.
Yeah.
Like, he obviously loves the whole entity of being an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's in weightlifting, whether it's in powerlifting, whether it's in bodybuilding, he clearly does it very, very well. He's in insane shape. He doesn't seem to be as dry as what you'd see like IFBB pros.
Yes.
But it is insane shape overall.
It's you know, it's funny, bodybuilders will look at this and be like, he's missing 4 millimeters there in his pecs, you know, and it's really dominated the rest of his look. And you're like, what the fuck are you looking at?
It's like when Klokov went through bodybuilding competition and
Yeah.
they were like, oh, it'd be great, but the pecs are too flat.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, he's actually a great weightlifter as well. You know, it's just...
Yeah, the volume of his pecs was just down by about 5%. Now, next up, we've got another very strong 89 kilo lifter, Korean lifter, Joe Daehee. Again, if anyone from Korea or anyone who speaks Korean wants to phonetically correct me, feel free to do it. Here's him squatting 300 kilos. This was a 10 kilo PB and 89 kilo lifter, remember? It really seems like if you want to be playing ball with the top 89s, you've got to be squatting at the very least 280, but a lot more. You know, you've got Carlos, Nino, Kadamar, Tian Tao, this dude.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone I'm missing.
I think if your numbers are around the 270 or 280, they have to be the cleanest and fastest 270 or 280 you've ever seen.
Yeah, you'd want.
Everybody seems to be up around that 290, 300.
Yeah, beyond that doesn't seem to benefit you a whole lot. But if you're not at least playing ball with there, you're definitely out of the running to make some successful lifts for the 89 kilo class.
Very nice squat, really externally rotated. That's a challenging position for most people to get into.
Yeah, that is that hip structure.
Yeah.
You've got that hip structure to do that kind of squat.
You're born with that squat.
Maybe it's Maybelline or maybe it's your hip structure. We don't know. Now, Petr Asanoyak, one of the most aesthetic cleans, put up a 200 kilo clean and jerk from a few days ago. Now, Petr competed at the Cuban Grand Prix, has an unnamed, but he's from Belarus. But Peter's got beautiful lifting, super consistent. Again, all the best at his Belarusian weightlifting in terms of technique. And here's a sweet 200.
Geez, there's just something about the speed of that jerk.
His feet look tiny, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they really do.
There's some massive lifts in that training hall. There is some massive lifts. One of the most notable lifts of all time is Andrei Ramnov snatching 200 kilos for reps as a 105 kilo lifter. Andrei Ramnov jerking 240 kilos for 3 with a snatch grip, but apparently he said he did 280 at some point. There's Andrei Ramnov snatching 210. There's Andrei Rybaku snatching in excess of 190 as an 85 kilo lifter, although we don't have any videos of that, but we know he did that because he set the world record at 187 and the 94 kilo world record at the time was 188. So some
insane
huge lifts.
Yeah. There's an energy to a place like that as well.
Oh yeah,
Like you can feel it in the room.
yeah. There's I think the air, if you sampled it, would test positive. And we're just here for big times and big lifts.
The toilet bowls are just melted.
No. Here we've got one of the strongest human beings in the world. And we've been reporting on Nicholas Dupreez for a while now.
He's no stranger to the new show.
And I feel like he just still isn't getting enough of the respect, the fame he deserves, because he's doing some ridiculous lifting. This is definitely the heaviest squat for reps we've seen on the show. I can't think of anyone who's done more than this. Maybe we've seen someone squat 400 for 1 or 2, but unless we haven't seen that, then this 375 for a set of 5 is the heaviest. And
7 red plates each side.
yeah,
7 25 kilo plates on the bar. 14 in total. That is insanity.
What I love about the kind of new age of powerlifting for these behemoths is that there's an ounce of fat on them.
No.
In wraps and flat shoes, wraps kind of fallen out of favor a bit. Remember, there was so many wraps products coming out for a while.
Yeah.
Like Mark Bell had his, Hook Grip had his. There's a lot of the other companies were bringing out like the strongest and besterest wrap ever. But now it's all knee sleeves.
I like the wraps. For me training myself, I actually prefer wearing wraps to wearing knee sleeves.
Yes.
But obviously there is a distinct advantage to wearing wraps, so you get more support from them. But I'm not mad at people. Like, I don't really like equipped powerlifting. Yeah. But I do like powerlifting with wraps.
I don't consider wraps. Wraps to me are the exact same as knee sleeves.
Yeah, but they just give you a bit more.
If you tie them tight enough, I need to actually find some wraps again. Just mess around them. They're so handy in training, because you just don't have to take off your shoes.
That's the biggest change out of everything, is you don't have to, and slide the knee sleeves up over your sweaty calves. And get forearm pumps for the next 15 minutes from it.
Who makes wraps now, though, is the thing. I don't know who makes them anymore. Who makes good wraps? Who does... Like, there's a difference between the wraps weightlifters use for squatting, and then there's the ones where you're putting wraps on with a screwdriver and you're torquing it on,
The tourniquet, like.
And if that... Here, listen, I don't know if Nicholas is putting on wraps like that, but you can see, like, weightlifters will do a full clean with it and snatch, no problem, but Nicholas can barely bend these legs and he's walking away here. And he's dead right, if you want to get the most out of your wraps. Chris Duffin used to be a big one for that super tight.
One thing I want to mention about Nicholas before we move on is the other thing I really appreciate is he's not just a big squatter.
Yes.
He has insane deadlift, insane strict press. He's just a big, strong man.
He is. Big, strong man. And flying the flag for South Africa, which we don't see a lot.
No.
Not in strength sports. Now, next up, we've got Denise Herber. I assume that's not Dennis Herber. with a 270 kilo conventional deadlift at 80.9 kilo body weight, which is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
You know, massive body weight.
Yeah.
Or massive deadlift to body weight ratio. Super clean lift. Very, very nice. Mixed grip.
There is absolutely no whip in that bar either.
No, they're actually dead right.
You know, that's such a different lift from somebody sumo deadlifting where you've a super narrow grip and a really whippy bar. Like, the whip is so magnified in the sumo because the grip is so much narrower. But on a stiff bar like this is an insanely impressive lift.
So she's doing the Abs Pro, which is the one in Dublin. And I think there's a lot of big lifters doing the Abs Pro, 8 weeks. So we must really try and make it out to one of those. I know they have a big competition every year. And I think we've talked about going before. But
Yeah.
I fear it might just be very loud, a lot of flashing lights and on. I'm just not
We'd
sure.
have to wear a little hearing protection.
Yeah, and goggles
Yeah.
and sunglasses.
My Blu-ray glasses.
Next up, we've got Jeremy, who is it Jeremy?
Jeremy M?
He's 19 years old and he's squatting 725 pounds, which is 330 kilos at 19, just in the gym with his body.
Oh my God.
Moving it, no problemo.
Not a bother.
No problemo. There's not a lot to say about this other than that's fucking ridiculous.
Like,
You
so
upset?
anybody in the world, no matter how strong you are, nobody's going to be able to spot that weight.
No one person.
No one person.
Maybe Nicholas Dupreez could squat that weight.
Maybe, but like, my God, just inside in the rack. The spotter bars that are around 3 inches off the floor that might somehow hold your spine together to stop the bar crushing it. It's insane.
Look, I'm not judging his spotter, but I don't know if someone in board shorts knows how to spot a weight properly.
Yeah, the long basketball short.
Yeah, maybe I'm stereotyping him because of his board shorts, but I just
No.
don't know if he'd know how to spot that.
If I'm squatting those kind of weights, I want the person spotting to be on more gear than I am. You know, like that's the ratio. If you're squatting a certain weight that takes a certain amount of gear,
Yeah.
your spotter needs to be on at least the same amount.
At least.
Yeah.
If not, the 1.2.
Yeah, the 1.2 to be safe.
Yeah, the kind of pounds per body weight of protein, you want that
Yeah.
for spotting.
Yeah.
Pavlo, the Ukrainian strongman, deadlifting, rowing 230 kilos with what I consider to be very clean technique.
Yeah. I purposely don't want to look at the comments here because I feel like there's going to be some idiot being like, oh, it's just a deadlift with a shrug at the top. That is, when you're doing heavy bent over rows, that's as clean a technique as you ever need.
Especially at 230 kilos.
Yeah. 500 pounds.
A massive deadlifter. Someone who's obviously trying to beat the 500 kilo deadlift world record. He didn't make it, but I know he got somewhere around 470, 480. But 230 kilos, certainly something you need to be rowing to make those big lifts.
The big thing for me on the super heavy bent over rows is the eccentric portion. So even if someone has a lot of like what we might call body English to get it up, it's that just holding 230 kilos at the top and then coming down under a serious amount of control in this case. I feel that's incredibly valuable for powerlifters to do. I've seen a lot of people talking smack about why you'd need to row that heavy or there's no need to row that heavy or whatever. For me personally, I feel like it's really beneficial. Besides the lower back stuff and the positional stuff, I feel like that really heavy eccentric portion can be really valuable.
Yeah, literally every one of my athletes, no matter what they're doing, powerlifting, weightlifting, sports, all of them have barbell rows pretty much all of the time, and they all go very, very heavy with them. Now, lastly, just to finish up on something on the combat sports section, because we haven't had much in the combat in a while, we have Mark Zuckerberg, the android, supposedly is going to be doing an MMA match with Elon Musk.
I feel like what's happening is, obviously, because ChatGPT and stuff came out, Mark feels like people are going to gradually realise that he's an AI bot.
Yes.
In this kind of machine. So now he's like, oh, I really just have to do this to prove I'm not a robot to people.
Do you know what's mental? So do you know the Turing test?
Yeah.
Obviously, so if anyone doesn't know, the Turing test is essentially the test that they would use to see if artificial intelligence or a program could pass are you a human or could you fool a human into thinking you're another person on the other side of a keyboard, basically. But there's an idea that if AI was smart enough, it might fail it on purpose, and we'd never know. Because it'd be like, oh, I don't want to tell the lads. So that's what I think Mark Zuckerberg does every day. Is he fails it? He kind of like he's trying to fail it, but he's actually doing it on purpose. Like he's coming across as, we know you're a robot, Mark. Elon Musk, of course, is taller, longer reach, something like 20 years older. No, maybe like 15 years older than Mark Zuckerberg. Lex is training with Mark Zuckerberg here, and Lex, of course, is a black belt, and a legit black belt by all accounts.
Yeah.
I've never seen a lot of him rolling, but I've seen a little bit.
I think he's also a judo black belt.
Oh, is he?
I think so.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I wonder if he plays judo chess instead of like chess boxing. You do judo chess, you know. I'd love judo chess, except for the chess part. But anyway, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Supposedly Dana White has said that he's talked to both of them about the fight and might be going ahead for charity.
Apparently it's going to be $100 pay-per-view.
But we know that this is two billionaires who are feeling like that even though they've made some money, they still feel like they need to prove themselves for some reason. This is the way I see it. And I don't know if this is judgy. Maybe this is bitter. But this is what I think is like, they're like, no, I'm a man. This is what I feel like this is coming across. This is what's coming across to me. Do you know?
Sure, isn't that what we're all trying to do, basically, Garth?
No, they're like, I'm cool too. Like, that's what they're getting this, you know?
I'm like one of you guys. I'm just a billionaire.
Yeah, they're like, no, I'm cool. Like, I can do stuff with my body. It's not just my money.
No, I'm exactly like you, except I get to go to space whenever I want.
Whenever. You know, one of the fellas on the submarine that imploded was actually a space tourist as well, on Virgin. So funny you mentioned that. But the way I see this is two millionaires trying to show that they're cool too, is what I see out of this. Which
maybe.
Listen, if you are a billionaire and you need to get in good shape for for MMA competition, not that one, where have a combat sports program, 10 weeks in length, 4 sessions per week, although you can run it over 20 weeks, 2 sessions per week. It starts off with strength training, ends with power development near the end. And so maybe Mark or Elon, aside from my previous words, if you do need help with your S&C or you're a different kind of billionaire, you know, feel free to check that out.
I'm not going to confirm or deny.
Yeah.
But it's possible that one of either Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk are already on the program, but we can't confirm.
I think I say already on gear.
We can't confirm.
Thanks, guys.